My name's Keith Catlin. I am the fourth generation owner of Catlin Truck Accessories. We were started by my great-grandfather, William Catlin, followed by my granddad, William Catlin Jr., and my father, William Catlin III, who goes by Bodie Catlin. So my great-grandfather moved here from Richmond, Virginia in 1917, and he, at that point, was a sales manager for a Studebaker dealership. So he brought his family down and moved here and started William Catlin Fine Used Cars. So he actually grew up on the corner of Hubbard and 2nd Street. He was at that time living with his in-laws, and we know how hard that can be. But so he was there, and which was real close to where we are today at 2nd and Main. And he founded William Catlin Fine Used Cars at the corner of Clay and Adams, which is right where the new courthouse is. So we were founded in 1919. So this year makes 102 years of business for us, which we're very proud of. And not many people can say they've gone through 4 generations of family. But normally, as I tell my dad, I'm glad the 3rd generation didn't mess it up. So the 4th generation, we're still rolling. So we've at one point, we had 6 used car lots in Jacksonville. And it was actually William Catlin Fine Used Cars was the first exclusive used car dealer in the state of Florida. Obviously, over the years, we've gone through a lot of changes, just as Springfield has. In 1929, we had this location, it was William Catlin and Son at that point, and now we go by Catlin Truck Accessories. Still in this location since 1929, the corner of 2nd and Main. And you know, we've been, over the years, we were Studebaker dealership, we were Packard dealership. When they ran out of cars and Studebaker went out of business in 1957, we started putting air conditioning in vehicles that were born without air. So of course, we're used to air conditioning, but imagine back in those days without air, and that's what we did. And so we did that in 1957, and then over the years, we've done truck accessories and automobile accessories, fuel tanks, cruise controls, seat covers, you know, and now we are pretty much strictly automobile, truck, and van accessories. So as the times have changed, we change with the times. And, you know, when we ran out of cars to sell, when Studebaker went out of business, we got in the air conditioning business. And then we did that air conditioning business up until 2015. So now we do a lot of outfitting vans and trucks and cars with all the new gadgets and accessories. But, you know, so my great-grandfather came from Virginia, came down to start us, and then the rest is kind of history.
My name is William Bodie Catlin III. I am the 3rd generation at Catlin Truck Accessories, and I came into the family business 1 year after I graduated from the University of Mississippi in 1970. From there, I went to the United States Marine Corps Reserve and was there for about 6 months active duty and then to reserve duty. So I have been literally at Catlin Truck Accessories. I started in 71 and I retired in 2016 at the age of 68. We are the oldest, probably large business that is still there, in Main Street from the corner of basically 1st and Main up to about 8th and Main anyway. We love Springfield. in the past 10 years or so, the social environment has really boomed. My father was William Catlin Jr., and Dad had a work ethic like no other, and he passed that along to me, and I passed that along to Keith. So the Catlins know how to work. We try to, as far as my grandfather and father, my dad knew when he passed away, he knew that the business was doing fine at the time. He was very happy. Dad passed away September 22nd of 2003 at the age of 89, but he would come down probably once a month, twice a month, just to check on us, sit on a chair and just listen to what we were selling. So he was very happy with the direction the company was going. Very happy. My grandfather was he was the promoter like no other car dealer in Jacksonville. No one could come up with ideas as great as my grandfather. So what he wanted to do with a pole sitter is get the pole sitter there, and it was kind of like in today's world of having a radio station come out and live broadcast from your lot and serve hot dogs to all the customers and cold drinks to all the customers that come to the lot. So what he did with a pole sitter, I'm sure he advertised it in the paper for a week in advance, and I think we had probably the first pole sitter in the city of Jacksonville, and he would go up on that pole. In fact, my grandfather in one of the pictures was showing with the fire chief, one of the city councilmen, and a city commissioner by the name of Guy Simmons, and my grandfather were pictured with a pole sitter, and they would have that picture taken with the dignitaries around, and then they would get the hook and ladder truck from the fire station at 4th and Main, which is still there, and put him up on top of that pole, and he would stay up there until after dark, and then they would bring him down. But that, as you see from the pictures, oh my goodness, there were more than 500 people on our front lot on Main Street watching that pole sitter, up on top, with a credit to the hook and ladder truck from 4th and Main Fire Station. We've got the original picture in Keith's office right now. That was an autographed picture that was given to my grandfather by the famous race car driver Barney Oldfield, and it's autographed, and it says, "To Bill Catlin, you know me, Barney Oldfield," and he's leaning across one of our Plymouth or DeSotos at that time. And what he was famous for, in 1904, he set the speed record in the mile on Daytona Beach at 54 seconds. And no one had previously done this in less than 1 minute. So it was kind of a big deal. And over the years, customers would come in and said, and if I could see they were a little bit older than I was, I said, do you know Barney? You know who Barney Oldfield is? I said, oh my gosh, that's one of the famous race car drivers of all time. I said, well, come in here, let me show you the picture. My grandfather didn't know it, but Uncle Marshall would go up there to the used car manager and say, what's the fastest car you have? And he says, it's so-and-so. I said, don't tell Pops, but I'm going to race it on the beach in Jacksonville on Sunday. So they have the races down there. So he goes down there, Lisa, and races a car. And one of the neighbors of my grandfather saw Uncle Marshall down there and says, Marshall, congratulations. We saw you got the trophy. You finished first. Well, they went home and told big William Catlin and grandmother Bertha, and they grounded him for about a month. But my grandmother didn't know he was taking the car.
All right, so I worked down here actually when I was in high school in the summers, in the late 80s, early 90s, and wow, the change that Springfield has gone through is amazing. I mean, back in those days, it was, the streets. From the way it was to now, it's unbelievable. We're so proud. We're proud of the way our shop looks as well. We made sure and put new fencing up, did some paving, and made our signage to make sure that we look good in Springfield, just like Springfield has done. And but over the years, what a change. From the 90s to now, the different restaurants that have come in, and the people that are working on these beautiful homes. It's just neat to see these homes being restored, and to see that, because back in the day when my great grandfather moved here, this was where you wanted to live. This was Jacksonville. This is where you bought a car. This was where you shopped. Downtown Jacksonville, and to see that the people and the effort that everyone's putting into this neighborhood has been great. And we're glad to be a part of it. We have a lot of customers that live in Springfield. It was great when they can walk or drive their golf cart over here, or drop their vehicle off and come back and pick it up at lunch. But the great thing about Springfield, I've always been asked, why does Catlin still here? Y'all have been here 100 years. There's got to be a better location. And the answer to that is, we love Springfield. And we're happy that we've been through the ups and downs. And back in the day, back in the 20s, that was the perfect place to live. And now it's back to that. I'm so happy with all the different restaurants that have come in, and people coming in and trying them out that they don't even know about them. And we send people every day when they're here for an appointment to go to Uptown or Cotton's or Olay or Crispy's or Strings. We try to promote Springfield, and we're proud of being here. The great thing about Springfield also is we are centrally located. So if you're living at the beach, or you're living on the west side, or in Julington Creek, it's not too hard to get here. And as you can see later on, we have plenty of parking. So if you ever need to come in, you're not having to park on the street. Springfield has come a long way. We're 102 years old. We're very, very blessed to still be in business, and we're happy to be in Springfield, and look forward to the next 100 years.